times. Queer times. Queer times.
Queers in.
Hey everybody, welcome to Queer Times. I'm Kristen Becker.
I'm Harrison Fish.
How you doing, Harrison?
I'm great. My parents visited this past weekend. It was so lovely to have them here. But, happy to have my apartment back.
Or were they staying at your place?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were cohabitating.
Yeah. But my new apartment is great for that. My couch is very comfortable. I slept on the couch. I gave them my bed.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's good. That's fast. They miss you a lot already.
Yeah. Well, they said they wanted to come out to make sure I was okay. And I'm like, y'all, I'm okay. But
that is
I think,
adorable.
yeah. But they wanted to help me get my apartment set up a little. They bought me an air fryer, which was very lovely.
Very parental. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, exactly. How is it going with Sandy?
Sandy's going great. We had a great
Good.
show in P-Town, and now I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we're going to go to the Bell House and do a little Sandy shtick, like a little 10-minute something as part of the Completely Christmas show. And then tomorrow, the day this comes out on Wednesday, if you're listening to this morning and you live in New York City, come to Mary O's tonight. Mary O's Irish Pub, 32 Avenue A. Sandy Claus is doing her full show at 7 p.m. She's very excited to go to a real, authentic Irish pub run by a real, authentic Irish lady who's going to give me real, authentic Irish booze. And it's going to be a great time. And then on Saturday, we'll go to Buffalo and we'll do it all over again. And then we will rejoice.
She's on tour.
She's making a few stops. I keep saying every year, I'm like, next year she's going to go on tour. And every year it's like, I do like 3 or 4 cities.
Yeah.
But
and all of a sudden it's December 5th and you're like, well, I guess I'll do 3 or 4 cities.
Honestly. But Marissa Miller is jumping on board this year to play a role that you once played, one Miss America First. F-U-R-S-T. And Marissa's really into it. And she seems very excited about maybe some things next year. So hopefully we'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll be able to do 10 cities. Maybe some fancy producer who listens to the show will be like, you know what? We need more of Sandy Claus.
Maybe Oakland, maybe San Francisco.
My friend Ryan lives in San Francisco and has been begging me to come there and perform. And by begging me, I mean, he's my oldest friend and he's like, why don't you ever come visit me? Right? Like, I mean, but like, and I need
now you
to.
have 2 really good friends in San Francisco Bay Area.
I know. I need to come there because Ryan and I grew up together. I love you. I have other friends there that would come. It just always seems so daunting after a summer of sex, frankly, is what's happening. I'm recognizing that I used to think I was made of limitless energy. Turns out the older you get, the less energy you have. And it turns out being an executive director of a not-for-profit takes a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm realizing that I have limited capacity for the creative things that used to be kind of the only thing I did outside of, slinging some weed. But yeah, she's on the road. I'm in Brooklyn now. I'm exhausted, as you can see, but I'm excited. We're going to have so much fun tonight. Marty Miller, Missy McIntosh, Completely Girl, Completely Christmas. I'm excited.
I love that.
What are we going to talk about, Harrison?
What do you want to talk about first?
Maybe Jordan first, men.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah,
go for
there
it.
we go.
Because this is your people, I'll let you lead this.
Oh. Well, I guess the question is it my people? That's the topic at hand. So, Heated Rivalry is a new television show on HBO Max that has come out recently. It is based on a book, which is written by Rachel Reed, and it is set in the world of professional hockey and basically is the love story of 2 professional hockey players. In the world of hockey, can these 2 players be out? How can they be in love? How can they show their affection? Which I think is really interesting because I love professional sports, and I think queerness within professional sports is always a hot topic, a touchy issue, because male spaces for sports are extremely homophobic.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great to be gay in professional sports. I was just trying to look up if Rachel Reed is a member of the LGBTQ community.
Right.
I was just curious. If this is like from the jump. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but straight women love to watch some men doing it.
And that's kind of the success of this show and what it has been. It seems like, I think gay men are watching and enjoying, but it seems like the people that are enjoying this the most are straight women.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that is how this criticism kind of comes in. So Jordan Firstman, I don't know if y'all know him, but he kind of rose to fame as a TikTok, Instagram comedian. He used to do these like kind of weird impressions. He would do like impressions of things, but it was kind of just like him pontificating about what this would say and what that thing he was impersonating would say, but it would often be like inanimate objects or, like weird things. And I think it's very funny, and he's kind of rose to fame. He's been in a few movies, but he kind of runs
He
with
was on
this.
The English Teacher.
Yes, he was
and
on
then
the English.
pivoted right off of that into I Love LA, right?
Yeah, it almost feels like, I feel like there is, do you know how there was the Rat Pack and then there was the Brat Pack?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's almost like a new iteration of that happening, but like in a Gen Z vibe. And I feel like it's Jordan Firstman, Rachel Sennett, Io Dabiri, like this little crew of kind of these like Gen Z up and comers with this new nihilistic sense of comedy.
Can we get, what should their name be? We need
I
to
don't
give
know.
them
The Braz Pack, because it's Gen Z.
No.
I know.
Okay, all right. We'll think of something.
We'll let you know
Or
next
if
week.
listeners have an idea of what we should call this, because it was Rat Pack and then it was Brat Pack and now it's like Chat Pack or something. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like that kind of nihilistic humor of Jordan Firstman kind of butted heads with kind of this like romantic comedy idea of Heated Rivalry written by a woman. I don't know if she's queer or not, and kind of seems to be getting the most positive response from straight women. I think those had kind of butted against each other. And Jordan Firstman basically said that he watched the first episode and he basically said it didn't feel gay to him, which I kind of understand. I think it's tough for people like me and people like Jordan Firstman, where he exists in kind of like the New York, LA gay scene, and I kind of exist in the Provincetown Bay Area gay scene. And I think sometimes we think like, oh, we know all the gay people and we know what all the gay people are like.
And that there's only one way to be gay.
Totally. Yeah. But I do understand his criticism because it feels a little like a rom-com that could have been between two straight people, kind of like, it feels like a real life gay scenario with a kind of straight rom-com kind of like put together. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's accessible. I think having straight people enjoy queer media isn't a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. And I don't think that all queer media should be hardcore fucking. I think it's important that there are some stories being told that, I mean, when you told me about this earlier, because I missed this entirely for a lot of, it's just been a really busy week. And is that what they said about Brokeback Mountain? Or were they rugged enough? I don't know. I just feel like there's this dichotomy that exists where we're like, gay people are more than how we fuck. But then every time something comes out that's gay, we're like, but are they fucking authentically? And it's like, well, I mean, I don't know, because I think everybody fucks very differently. And there's no stereotypical way for anybody to do it. And I feel like we are in that age right now where when you look at the spectrum of gender, there's also the spectrum of sexuality, and things like asexuality is coming up and like all these other things. And to just be like, oh, that's not queer enough because they're not doing it the way I see people do it or the way I do it in a dark room somewhere. And the other thing I want to say is I have not watched this show.
I'm a few episodes in. It's fun. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it gives Bridgerton vibes, but it kind of gives like this, like, it's a romantic comedy. It's a rom-com.
Where is it set?
It's set kind of all over the world. Basically, one of the characters is a Russian hockey star and the other is a Canadian hockey star, and they're rivals at first, but then once they get to know each other,
kiss.
Yeah, exactly. Kiss. And I know we've talked about it in the past, and I think this might be a little bit where Jordan Firstman's coming, and I think his whole brand is being blunt and crass. So I think I understand where he's coming from, but I also understand the pushback because of his kind of brand of comedy and his kind of persona. I think we've talked about this. It's hard for queer people because we don't get a ton of representation. I kind of agree with him because we're not getting a ton of representation. It's a little, I don't care personally for representation that appears to be explicitly heteronormative.
I don't care for it to be explicitly heteronormative, but I do think that we lose a lot of votes by pretending like there aren't plenty of happy homosexuals living in the middle of the country, a very heteronormative lifestyle. And in a similar way where, like, as a feminist, I wouldn't be like, you're not a feminist if you're staying at home and cooking for your partner. If you like doing that, you're a feminist.
Yeah.
And if you have a partner of 20 years that, like, yeah, maybe you do go through all the steps of what a heteronormative life would be. Isn't that what we fought for? Didn't we fight for you to be able to just live in the suburbs and adopt a couple kids or have a couple kids? Like, isn't that part of it? Or does everybody have to put a Roman candle up their ass? Sorry.
Don't yuck my yums.
You know what I mean, though? Like, I don't understand the animosity against or towards people who, quite frankly, are living in a place where they're learning how to survive as they are. And it doesn't necessarily, and not in the closet, being out, this is my partner. And maybe there are some queer people who are raised with just some wholesome Midwest values and they want to have 2.5 kids and a dog and a white picket fence.
Totally.
Why can't they be in the media too? Why is it only like we fuck?
Totally. No, I agree. And I feel like I always say there's two types of gay media, queer media, and there's queer media that's created for gay people, and there's queer media that is created for straight people. And this reads a little like queer media created for straight people, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
It's on Netflix. Of course it is.
Yeah, HBO, right?
It's on HBO? Yeah, HBO.
Yes, HBO Max.
Which is about to be owned by Netflix, so still right.
Totally.
All right, well, in that case, since it's on HBO Max and not HBO, because they evoked the name of Skinamax in their logo, I want to see nothing but fucking...
Yeah. But also, like, they can have, like, top on top missionary position. I want to say man on top missionary, but top on top missionary, I guess, is the gay.
Is there any... You've watched a few episodes. Have you seen a sex scene?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
All right, and you're only 2 episodes in.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's kind of like multiple intimate scenes in each episode.
Then yeah, but Jordan Firstman did back.
He said he spoke too bluntly, which is like I kind of agree. I understand where he's coming from. I understand maybe not the criticism of it, but the pointing out how it is different. It's kind of when I first started watching Looking, and the first episode was this 25 to 30-year-old gay man living in San Francisco who was like, "What's an enema?" I'm like, this is for straight people.
But that is how we educate the people who might know nothing about us. And I think it is important, if we want to be seen as full spectrum human beings, that we do need to create some media for them that eases them into it. But
there is straight media that represents every person in the world. I understand that I want gay media that represents all and every gay experience. And because we only get 2 or 3 shows a year, I understand you want those shows to speak to your experience. And I think the solution is having more gay media.
I agree. I think we're in agreement there.
Yeah, let's write something.
Do you think I'm working on something. FYI.
Well, stay tuned.
Pilot-based.
I love
Shikami working on a thing. She's got a brain. She's going to use it.
I still think we need to write a show where, in the style of Facts of Life, but it's loosely based on you and the summer of
No, that's
sass.
what I'm writing.
Work.
What do you mean you still think? I told you I was writing that like 6 months ago.
Did you? Is it going to be called The Fags of Life?
No, it's not. But it is that. It's a modern version of that. And
I love that.
The pilot that I'm working on ventures into what happened. Like, everyone knows what I did before SAS. I was a touring drunk comedian who also slang some weed on the side, with a background in management and restaurants and whatever. And it's always drunk white men, straight men, who are a hot mess and have to figure their shit out and see if they're going to do any good in the world. And now I think that I want to be that person.
Hell yeah.
And it kind of will go through this like gifting of this giant amount of money that was dumped on me accidentally, and how I fucked around and found out. And now I have to figure it out and get my shit together, or like it will fail. So it is very much that, but funny.
I love that.
I'm excited about it. And it's I've been struggling with not performing as much as I used to. I've been having an identity crisis, is the truth. I've been having an identity crisis because nothing about me identifies as a not-for-profit manager, even though that's exactly what I am. And I am a founder of a not-for-profit. But, I ran into John Richardson at the Stop and Shop. He was literally driving by and his partner Tom was with him. And John introduced me as a comedian. And it really mattered to me. And then said, oh, and Suburbs has. And I had this moment. I was like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of an identity crisis. I don't know how to identify in something other than a comedian, a performer, an artist, whatever. And when you say not-for-profit manager, it's like spreadsheets and fundraising, which it is, and which I am capable of, and which I do kind of pretty well. I'm pretty good at it. It took me a minute, but kind of crushing it right now. But it's not how I see myself going through the world. And that comes with a lot of my own negative stereotypes about what it means to be a person who likes spreadsheets. But I ain't it. That's not right. No disrespect to people who get off on a nice spreadsheet. I know those people exist. I know that as a Virgo, I should get off on a good spreadsheet, but I don't. I'm starting to learn how to.
Yeah, I think although it's maybe not what you identify as, I think you're excelling at it.
Thank you. I see what you did there. Did you know that there's an Excel competition?
That's crazy.
No, there's a worldwide, people who master the art of Excel, people who excel at Excel. There's a spreadsheet competition where you have to create certain formulas in a certain amount of time or whatever. And it's amazing nerdness. Anyway, sorry, we got off topic.
Excellence in Excel award?
Probably. I'm assuming it is. But it is some sort of a competition, an international competition in spreadsheet making.
Okay, let's get back on topic. Let's talk about...
Sorry, my identity crisis isn't on topic for you, Harris.
this whole podcast is an identity crisis.
Fact. Okay, what are we talking about now?
Okay, let's talk about the upcoming heated race in Texas.
Yes.
So this upcoming March is the Democratic primary for the Senate seats in Texas, and there are two big names in politics running up against each other for the same seat. That is James Talarico, who we've spoken about before, and Jasmine Crockett, who we are both big fans of.
Big fan.
I think that's what's a little frustrating leading into this is so many people love both of these people, and I think they're both amazing, positive voices in the Democratic movement.
And it is what we always see happen amongst the Democrats is they like to fight each other.
Yeah.
And I understand that people live where people live and et cetera, but I'm curious to know, I think that Jasmine Crockett is the kind of person I can get behind no matter what. I think she's authentic. I think she's incredibly intelligent and has no fear of truth to power. And I think all of that is really, really important. I do also think that in the state of Texas right now, having someone, I think that doing work in the religious sector is important to LGBTQ rights. And for those reasons, I think that he is also an incredibly important voice in politics right now and might even, knowing what I know about being a woman in this country and knowing how I know this country treats women of color, I don't know why they're diluting it. I don't understand. I don't understand if this was always a plan. I don't understand why the Crockett campaign decided to jump in or if they were always jumping in and Talarico got out first. I don't know. Do you know more about this?
I think they just both had planned on running for this seat and now they're finding themselves running up against each other. I also want to give a little disclaimer before we get too far into this. A lot of people are saying voices outside of Texas shouldn't be putting their opinions forward. And I just want to say, we're going to talk about it. We both trust and believe the people of Texas or at least the Democrats within Texas to make the decision that is best for the citizens of Texas in this upcoming race. We're not going to tell you who to vote for. We trust and believe that everyone in Texas on the Democratic side is smart enough to decide who should best represent themselves. But I do think the discourse around this, it's going to be discourse that is had all around the country when it comes to Democrats running up against each other. And I think the biggest point of discourse that I've been seeing on TikTok and in the news is basically a lot of people are a little frustrated over some statements that Jasmine Crockett has made about Israel. She is seemingly in support of Israel. She has not taken AIPAC money, but she did, just before the events of October 2023, take a trip to Israel that was funded by the nonprofit education arm of AIPAC. So as much as she hasn't received money directly from AIPAC, she did receive a gift of a trip to Israel from the organization that is the educational arm of AIPAC. Those are facts. However you feel about it, it's how you feel about it.
I'm trying to figure out how I feel about it. I mean, it's on one hand, in the state of Texas, that's smart. I mean, as of right now, there seems to be a lot of conservative alignment with Israel right now, right? I don't know. I got to think on that one.
I'm unsure if it's smart in a state like Texas. The biggest voting bloc in Texas was people who didn't vote. If you tally up the people who voted for Trump, the people who voted for Kamala, and the people who didn't vote, that largest voting bloc is the people who didn't vote. And it is my personal opinion that the voting bloc of people who didn't vote does contain a lot of people who lean left and are a little disillusioned with the effectiveness of the Democratic Party. And I think there are also people who think the effectiveness of the Democratic Party and their support for Israel is in tandem.
The other thing that I think is really interesting in the state of Texas is you don't have to pick a party affiliation. So when we say that we trust the Democrats, there is an overreach here. There's an overlapping. Like in the state of Texas, you can just, and I think this is the way it should be everywhere. I really dislike that some states are like, are you a Democrat or are you a Republican? And now you're locked into that until you change that. And these are the only people you can vote for. I think everyone should be allowed to be independent walking in, or at least have no designated affiliation that would prohibit them from voting in a primary, or Texas does that. So I think there is this middle ground of being able to pull some people that you would think would normally be registered Republican to voting for Democrats in that state. And I think that both of these candidates recognize that and see that and are working their own angles to get those votes to topple an incumbent.
Yeah. I think open primaries in tandem with ranked choice voting is the best way to go.
I would love some ranked choice voting.
Yeah. But I do feel it seems like this is my personal opinion, but I think
shut up. I'm kidding.
Putting all of your energy into kind of pulling people from the middle and the Republican Party over activating and encouraging voters who typically might not vote with really great policy that's going to affect and change their lives. I think the better option is the latter.
Do you think that translates into national politics as well as it would translate into state politics? Because I think what you're saying is correct on a state basis and the things that you can do to affect change. I'm not sure if that carries over as well into the national political climate right now.
It is my personal opinion and theory, because there's really we can't base it on anything in the past, but it is my opinion that those policies like of a Zoran Mamdani, a Bernie Sanders, a Graham Plattner, I think those would win across the board in every election, no matter what, no matter where.
I think that is correct. Right now.
Yeah.
You know what? I just got distracted because I was like, what happened to Graham Plattner? Remember when he was a Nazi a few episodes ago? They made that go away, huh?
I think people got all the information and Maine voters have that information, and Maine voters will take it into account when they go to the ballot box.
When do they go to the ballot box?
I imagine it's in March as well. I think most of the Democratic primaries for next year's midterm elections occur next spring, like a Super Tuesday idea.
The way that every single, it's one thing to be campaigning for a presidential campaign for 2.5 years or whatever it is. The way that every single politician now is just campaigning for so long, perpetually campaigning, is so disgusting to me. It's just like, do you know what I mean? It just feels like so gross.
And you also know in other places around the world, they have a campaign period and you can't campaign outside of that period. And I want to say it's like 60 days. which I think would be so amazing.
I would love that, but how would anybody make any money in the media if they weren't spending all these
Girl, again, the problem is capitalism. But one of the biggest things that I've been hearing around this is a lot of people saying, I'm not going to vote for Jasmine Crockett because of her position on Israel. And then the other side is, I don't care about people's position on Israel. I care about how they're going to, like, this is a Texas election. This is the Texas Senate representative. We're going to vote for Texans. What is best for Texans? And I completely agree. I completely understand. But I also think if you have someone voting to send billions of dollars to Israel, does that not affect Texas? Could Texas not use that money for the problems and issues that are important to Texans?
There's been a lot of discussion about how much money the U.S. spends or gives to Israel or borrows on behalf of Israel, and Israelis have healthcare.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't get that part.
And I also feel like at this point, this is not
And it's not very America first.
Right. And I don't think at this point we can say Israel is committing a genocide, considering the amount of munitions and money we give Israel. The United States is committing a genocide against Palestinians. Like, the transitive property, it's not too hard to simplify. If we are fully funding this genocide, the blood is on America's hands.
It's just, I think I got uncomfortable because there has been so much anti-Semitism this week that I'm like, is this the week to be like genocide?
It's also occurring as we speak,
The genocide?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that well-brokered peace deal that our president made happen that he believes would give him the Nobel Peace Prize didn't hold?
It never existed to begin with.
What?
Yeah.
They didn't fix it already? Everything's not, all the wars aren't over, like you said?
And also, like, personally, as a non-religious person, I don't think criticism of Israel or the acknowledgement that there is a genocide happening says anything about Jewish people around the world as a whole.
Of course not. Of course not.
I do think the one last thing I'll say about the Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico situation is a lot of people are saying that they are supporting one over the other because of electability. They want someone who's going to be able to win in a Republican state. But I also feel like these are the same people who said that Kamala lost because you idiots stayed home and didn't vote for her because of her position on Israel. So therefore, doesn't her position on Israel affect her electability? You can't say that people stayed home because of someone's position on Israel and then disregard that when you're talking about electability in the future. You have to acknowledge that there are going to be people that stay home again, which I do not endorse. I think it is so idiotic to stay home and not vote in any election. It's the bare minimum. It's the most simple thing you can do.
I think that is coming from the position of white privilege, because I think the reason that people stay home is often they don't feel represented in any way. And sometimes it's political ideals, but sometimes it's also just being fucked over by the system for literally generations and being like, I'm going to unplug. And I think that what you just said, that electability thing, is why I think that being pro-Israel in Texas does get you elected. And I think that's the part where I think she's making a smart move here, because I think that go ahead.
I just don't think that's true. It is my opinion that I don't think that's true.
She'll lose Austin and win Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio.
I think taking a hard stance against the genocide in Palestine is going to get voters who might not vote to come out and vote.
Not in Texas. I think you've never been to Texas.
I think you always like to talk about these queer people that exist all over the world. I think there are people there are queer people who exist in every environment. I think there are people who are anti-genocide in every community.
I think that is true. I just don't think there's enough of them. I think that there are more layers to it based on religion, specifically in the South. I think that, I don't know.
The Christian state of Texas? Okay.
Because there is a new alliance between the Christian right and
you think the Christian right is going to vote for a Democrat. I guess my point is that, like, I don't want, if Jasmine Crockett does win the primary and then loses to a Republican, then I don't want to fucking hear it that it's leftists who stayed home because of her support for Israel.
I don't think you will.
I think that is a centrist, moderate Democrat position that they're going to use. They always blame it on the left when Democrats lose.
That's true. Does she have to give up her... No, she doesn't have to give up her seat unless she wins, right? So no harm, no foul. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
Cornyn, that's whose seat they're going for. I don't know much about John Cornyn.
How old is he? I'm just kidding, but I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding. Let me find out. Oh. I'll let you guess.
73.
Yeah. Yeah, 73. So either way, the state of Texas will be better off if they can just get rid of somebody who is 73.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was interesting, and I wanted to talk to you about this because I know how much you hate it when old people are in politics.
Not old people, geriatric people.
Do you hate it when old people are in Congress, or do you hate it when people are in Congress for 30 years or in politics? Like, is it about their age, or is it about them being entrenched in the system and kind of phoning it in, basically?
I would say both, but more so age.
I was watching a dumb, like, CNN, what really happened CNN thing last night, because I'm in an Airbnb and that's what was on the cable. And it was what really happened with John F. Kennedy Jr. Number one, can you believe that we got stuck with RFK Jr. and not JFK Jr.?
I know.
Can you, like, goddamn. You know, I was watching it last night. I was like, man, how nice would that have been? But he said something that I really thought about. It hit me and I wanted to talk to you about it. He said in this interview, you know, people are like, are you going to run? He was almost going to run against Hillary when she was running for Senate in New York. He was kind of up for that. And he chose to not run against Hillary. And when he was questioned about it, he was like, you know, there's kind of been this consensus in our family that you do good in the world. And then when you have the knowledge and the wisdom, you run for office, and that, like, you run for office at a time in your life when you have experience, you have stability, and you have something to offer. And I thought that was really interesting because I like the idea of mixed generations running our country. But I do think that there is some wisdom that could happen from people having real life experience there, right? And that does mean older people. I don't think they should be there for 30 years. I think it should be like maybe 8 years max total. I don't think you should be able to be a career politician. But anyway, I just wanted to say that to you because I thought it was interesting.
I agree that experience matters. Every single age has a different experience, and I think all of those experiences should be represented. I don't think age begets experience. I don't think
that's just science.
No.
The older you get, the more experiences you have.
Yeah, but they're not all the same.
No, correct. But
a 35-year-old has the experience of coming of age in a financial crisis. A 35-year-old has the experience of never being able to own a home. A 35-year-old has the experience of paying $1,000 in their 20s and 30s for health insurance, where someone who is 50, 60, 70, 80 doesn't have those experiences, even though they're that old. I think everyone has an experience. I don't think the more experience you have means better. Nancy Pelosi has the experience of being a rich, wealthy person for her entire life. Nancy Pelosi has the experience of being able to buy a home at 30 for 25 cents and a well-written note. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the more experience gives you better experience.
Okay. What am I going to say to that? That was a quality rant. Let the man go. Let him rant.
Okay, let's talk about one more thing. Let's talk about there is a potential to have a gay bar.
Chicago Airport.
Tell me.
So they have put a call out for concessions, and there is talk. The owners of Sidetrack have partnered with an investor, and they have pitched to become an LGBTQ bar in O'Hare Airport.
I think that's awesome.
I don't think it's not awesome. I think it's fine. I will say that all of the comments on social media around this are literally guys just being like, oh, cool, we can fuck in the airport now. And I think that
we've been fucking in the airport.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is I'm kind of like, okay, guys, just keep it like, can we just have any LGBTQ press that's not like, oh, we can fuck there? I just like, you can, but you also have sniffies, and you're going to do it in that one little alley behind or one little hallway outside the bathroom, right? And then there's a broom closet and everybody knows to go there, right? Like, isn't
you know.
I've been there. It's not my first time in an airport. I know where to find a cock if I need one. Oh, I just don't need him often. I don't know. I think it's great. Chicago was ranked the best city for LGBTQ plus travelers. I think this only reinforces that. Obviously, there's going to be hundreds of submissions whenever an airport does a call for concessions, and so when if they don't get it, it'll be homophobia, I suppose. But there was just something about. I think it was because I read Heated Rivalry, and kind of in the same media day, it was like the airport, and I was just like, we get it, you fuck guys. Like, we get it, but there's this constant battle of like, see us as more, but then like guys are just like, but we fuck, right? Like, yes, we know you fuck. Anybody who's ever met a man knows that two men together fuck more than anybody else. Like, that's just the only thing that keeps. I honestly think that if we highlighted that a little bit more in the right ways, like, I just think that we could get more straight men on our side if they recognize how much of it is you guys just getting to fuck as much as you want.
It's so funny. I love talking to my brother about my life, but I often like leave out gender, like, oh, I met someone and blah, 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 blah. And I feel like he so often is like, oh, it's the same, you know?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like the gay male experience and the straight male experience. Obviously very different, but there's a lot more overlap than straight men would imagine.
Wait, you have a brother?
I do.
How old is your brother?
He's a year older than me.
Do you have a straight brother?
I do.
Do I know this about you?
I don't know, maybe.
I know you have a sister.
Yes.
Who you're very close with.
Yes, I'm close with both of them.
Apparently not, because I didn't know you had a brother.
That's crazy.
I don't think I knew you had you have an Irish twin brother?
Pretty much, yeah.
And how old is your sister?
But she's 5 years younger than me.
I did not know that you have so you have a straight brother who's single?
No, he's married.
Oh, okay. So it's not exactly the same because you are hooking up at a level that I'm assuming your married brother is not, unless they have a very progressive relationship.
No.
And
he's an army wife.
He's an army wife?
Yeah.
Army
sister-in-law Carla is a very high up in the Navy, and
she will fuck you up.
Like, yes and no. She is like the sweetest, almost soft-spoken, like, yeah.
Yes, yeah, and carry a big stick. She will fuck you up.
Right.
Any woman that is high ranking in the Navy, did you say?
Yeah. Yeah. She's like
she can fuck you
running a boat in the San Diego port.
It's called being a captain, Harrison. Wait, your brother lives in San Diego?
Yeah.
You have family out there. I mean, down there. But
exactly.
Yeah. Wow, I've learned so much about you this episode.
Mm-hmm.
You have a brother.
Yeah.
Who you share sex stories with, but you leave the gender out.
Yeah. I mean, this was like in the past before he was married, you know.
And why did you leave the gender out? Because you're ashamed?
No, just to make him to think about it a little more.
Okay. All right. To make it so what you did was you altered the context a little bit.
Yeah. He's like, oh my God, totally. Oh, wait, you're talking about a dude. And then he's like, meh.
To make it palatable for straight people. So you basically heated rivalry your own life.
No.
That's full circle. We just came full circle there. What are you talking about?
We did it.
I think we did do it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you all so much for listening today.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Did you tell your friends about it? Did you like it? Did you subscribe? Did you comment? Did you share the reels? Did you do the things? We know you did. We know you love it. Rate it, review it, tell your friends. Tell Harrison he's pretty every time you see him.
Please.
For all week, whenever you see Harrison, just be like, you're pretty, and see what happens. And that's all. I love you. Bye.
Queer is in.